Nuggets lose another tough one to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and now the season is on the brink. Nuggets face elimination in Game 6 after a masterclass from Nikola Jokic that comes up short. David Adelman might have made a decision that could very well cost the Nuggets their season. The role players didn't step up. That's a familiar tune. We'll talk about that and more coming up on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for joining us and making this part of your day. Being with us, being an everydayer, hanging out with us Monday through Friday, being a real sicko, and joining us win, lose, or not draw. There's no draws in the NBA, but win or lose.
That'd be cool.
You're with us on the show, and we appreciate you guys being with us and making us your first listen each and every day, whether you're at youtube.com/LockedOnNuggets or if you're joining us on the podcast. We do love those 5-star reviews. They are super, super cool and very fun.
Hell yeah.
On today's show, we'll talk about the Nuggets loss to the Thunder. We'll get over Adelman's decision to play Jokic and Murray the whole fourth quarter and the ramifications that had. We'll talk about Jokic's brilliant game, and we'll talk about who came up short and what the rotations maybe should have been and why there probably weren't any good options. All that and more on today's show. Okay. I want to start here.
Okay.
This is fine. It's actually less fine than if they'd gotten blown out. I'm not saying they should have just given up the ghost and gotten blown out. They had a chance to win this game.
Right.
This is fine. They're home. Altitude, Game 6. They got a chance to extend the series and get to a 7th game. That's why I said Game 3 was so important. It guaranteed this exact situation, that no matter what happened in 4 and 5, there would be a Game 6 at least for them to be able to extend the season.
True.
I thought they were going to lose this game. I thought they were going to lose it by more. And the Nuggets were able to scrap and claw and lead in this game and had a chance to win it. On the flip side of this, I think let's talk about the clutch thing. Okay. So the Nuggets win games 1 and game 3. And the narrative is, those young Thunder, inexperience, when it gets tight, that championship experience of Denver shines through. And I think that was true. I think it was accurate. I don't regret anything I said on that. I didn't go as far as some people did, but I think it was absolutely a thing. But here's the thing. You get more than one crack at it. And when you're in these games, it can be Lou Dort hits 2 threes that some people thought he would never hit. It is that your guys go cold on wide open corner 3 shots. The Nuggets generated, this is my thing with the offense in that fourth quarter. Everyone's the shooting splits. And this is, I continue to be this is just the bane of my existence. The Nuggets generated good looks until about the last 4 minutes of this quarter. They generated good looks. They got wide open corner 3s from guys who have hit them throughout the course of their playoff run.
Yeah.
They just missed. They missed shots. Last 4 minutes, the offense was a disaster. They were gassed and ran out of steam. We'll talk about that. But they had opportunities to put this game away and couldn't because role players missed shots on the road. You got Game 6 at home. This is fine. It's less fine because of the way that it happened in terms of, I think, specifically Adelman. And I think it's I know that everybody wants the Jokic has masterclass and the Nuggets win because Jokic is awesome. That didn't happen.
Okay. Let's reset. Let's reset here. Jokic was fantastic. That was a thing that happened. It was great. It was great to see him bounce back in this situation. And you're right. They did not get enough shot making from everybody. Jokic went, I think, 4 of 6 in that quarter, in the fourth quarter, and the rest of the Nuggets went 1 of 15. But the one make was a concession basket right at the end of the game for Murray. It was horrible. It was a really tough performance. Jokic had carried them through for a lot of this. He did carry them through in a lot of this moment.
He did. No, he did. I'm not denying that, Ryan. Just because I'm frustrated with fans' reaction, because I think that they actually like when they get to be like, oh, poor Jokic, why doesn't he have any help? That doesn't mean that like that's not what happened, Ryan. Like you're absolutely right that that's what happened. Like Jokic had 44 points on 7.
He was unbelievable. The Sombor shuffle that he hit was unbelievable.
Unbelievable shot. 15 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. He only had 2 turnovers in this game.
Yeah.
He was tremendous. He was phenomenal.
The shot making of this one was great. They needed it. They needed that boost in this one. They absolutely got it. And it's tough. This was going to be a game that happened though. And I think people are kind of overreacting a little bit that this is like in this moment, in this game, this is actually the perfect opportunity in a game 5 for Jokic to be fantastic and for the Nuggets to lose anyway because the role players just didn't travel and shoot well enough. Like that's just straight up what happened. Christian Brown made a couple of threes early in this game and then clanked for the rest of it. Russell Westbrook missed the rim by 6 feet. That's way too much. That's not actually what happened, but he was airballing a couple of different ones. Michael Porter, the final 2 shots that he attempted, it's why he's in the game, but I had zero faith that he was going to hit them, and then he airballed one of them. Like everybody, like Jamal Murray also deserves a lot of criticism in this one too. Like he had a great beginning of the third quarter. There's no doubt about it. The rest of the game, he was just straight up bad. And Denver needed him to be able to take over in some of these moments and like to be able to give Jokic at least a little bit of a breakout there so that he was able to put in a little bit more on the defense. But I thought that Murray's first half was poor, and I thought that his third quarter was great, and I thought that his fourth quarter was poor. He had so many opportunities. Like these are open jumpers. These are ones that he usually makes in his sleep. He just clanked them all.
Okay.
So,
help me with this. These are usually shots he makes in his sleep, and he misses them.
Yeah.
What is he supposed to have done?
Make him.
How?
Look, this isn't...
No. Answer that question.
How is he supposed to make them?
They created open corner threes and shots that you just said Jamal Murray makes in his sleep. How is he supposed to make them?
I'm not sure I really understand the question because...
How? As opposed to what he did, what was he supposed to do to make those shots? Was his form off?
I think he was a little bit rushed on a couple of the ones going to his left. I think he was certainly like on the step back. Certainly there was a couple that he had to shoot contested in his face against Lou Dort. He played great defense against him, but there were also ones that you just assume are going to go down. He had an wide open right corner 3, a wide open left corner 3, a wide open left wing 3, and he just bricked, man. Like sometimes it happens, but it also is stuff that like Denver was getting in game 1, that Denver was getting in game 3 in order to get the wins. But like that didn't happen in game 5, so they lost. Like it's pretty simple.
My problem, as always, is just that I don't know when we're complaining. If you're not generating good offense, then I will talk about that. I'll be like, they got clunky. They were forcing.
They were generating good offense, and they missed.
You're cutting me off. If that's the case, then I'll talk about it. If they're having sloppy turnovers, then I'll talk about it. If their offense generates quality looks and they miss from the guys that can make them, I don't know what they're supposed to have done better. Because when Jokic misses, it's what is it when Jokic misses?
Well, he was just missing shots. Like he was just missing shots that he normally makes. Why are you like, this is a little condescending. I'm not sure what this is about.
What do you mean? I'm talking about like my thing here is about their process was good enough to win this game. It's a make or miss league. When you're like, I am fundamentally, this is not about you. I am fundamentally bothered by this nature of the game where it's like, we wind up being like, they were terrible. They shot 2 of 14. Were they off balance? Were they heaving up? Were they at the end of the shot clock? Were they all contested jumpers that they were taken off of the dribble? Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Of course. I understand the premise of where you're coming from. I do not think that was the story of game 5. Like, I just don't. I think that they generated good looks. the process of the shot, whether it was Jokic generating them or Murray generating them and the ball working around to the corners and guys missing threes, like the corner/wing three that Russ missed in the third quarter, like transition, just wide open. That's the shot that you're supposed to generate in that situation. He shoots 48% from three in the regular season and he just misses. Like sometimes it happens. And like, you're right, it is a make or miss league. But maybe the reason is because Denver doesn't have enough depth and these guys are gassed and these guys are tired and they're just not functioning at the level that they need to be at this particular moment.
I want to ask this question. Robert Dante actually asking a good question as opposed to a lot of the idiots in the comments. Do you think Jamal's decision-making was good tonight? I don't have a good feel for that.
I thought that his first quarter turnovers were abysmal. I straight up thought that the passes that he was throwing were unbelievably bad. And it was lazy. It was not reading the passing lanes. And he got better in the third quarter and he cut off the turnovers in the second half. But overall, like, no, I don't think, like, look, this is a game that if like me, and as I have been crediting Jamal as much as I can be for this vast majority of my writing and podcasting career, these are the ones that you expect him to step up for. These are the ones that you expect him to make the shots, to make the passes, to make the plays. And he got 27 shots. He didn't make it. Like, it just straight up. And he'll say the same thing, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: is he will say, he'll like, I got to make them. My thing is, I don't know what they should do. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. I genuinely
maybe they can't do anything. Maybe
this is what I'm legitimately asking. And everyone's like making this into like I'm defending Jamal. I don't think he was good tonight. I think that they won the third quarter 30-24, and that was a big reason they had the 8-point lead going into in the fourth quarter.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Is like because Jamal played well.
Yeah.
And as a result, like when Jamal didn't play well, Joker was good in the fourth and Jamal wasn't, and they lost.
How many Nuggets were good in the fourth, Matt?
Just Joker.
Okay.
And you know what? Here's the thing, though, Ryan. What I think I'm actually gonna get to here on the fourth quarter is this. Do you know who I think was the worst in the fourth?
Yes. Was it Christian Brown?
It was Christian Brown.
He was straight up bad.
Do you know why?
Because he couldn't guard SGA one-on-one and the rotations were horrible defensively.
No. Porter had 3 shots in the fourth. Gordon had 3 shots in the fourth, over. Jokic had 6 shots, 4 of 6. He drugged them. He absolutely did. I'm saying all the things that you guys want me to say. It's absolutely true. Like, I'm not just saying it. It's true.
Okay.
Murray was 1 of 6. Got to make those shots, right? CB was 0 of 1.
Yeah.
10 minutes, 0 of 1. There were so many record scratches with him catching and not wanting to shoot.
Yep.
Because the closeout was good enough to where it wasn't completely wide open.
Yep.
Again, I'm not, at no point have I blamed Joker. My problem is with, from doing this show and interacting with fans online, when they lost game 4, it was gentle and soft. And when they lose game 5, it is, these guys are trash, trade them, they're all awful. And I'm not saying that they should be treated equally. Joker's a 3-time MVP. What I am saying is your tone as Nuggets fans was different in those situations. And that this game doesn't erase that the Nuggets have carried Joker in the first 4 games of this series. I'm not saying that Joker sucks. I'm saying
game 1 he was pretty good.
Game 1 he was pretty good. You're right. Yeah. So this is the thing. How many has Jokic been carrying for how many years? For sure. And if that's all this is just like Joker's earned a pass and nothing he ever does matters. Okay, that's fine. I can live with that. Look,
if you do it over and over again, then yeah, it's going to be a problem. This is the worst playoff stretch of his career. And what did he do? He bounced back from it. If he goes back to playing horribly in game 6, then yeah, we can bury him. We can criticize him, of course. But he didn't do that. He did bounce back. And I do think that matters in a game 5 on the road where it's a 2-2 swing game. And he was the one to show up.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. Let's not, that's too far, Ryan. You can't say they didn't show up. They had an 8-point lead in the fourth. They played really well in this game. They ran out of gas.
That's true. I think that Gordon showed up. I think that Jokic showed up. I think that Murray was Murray was he wasn't good enough, but like he was out there and he was competing hard defensively. I also just think he ran out of gas defensively in the fourth, like a lot of these guys do. Did Christian show up? I don't know. Did he? Did Russ show up? Did Porter show up?
Matt, you forgot one important thing. Murray's a ball hog. He's been bad the whole season. You will not be even in the playoffs if Jokic didn't have a historical season. You are just delusional. So Jamal's been bad the entire season, Ryan. And you as a critic, you'll agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's straight. Just yeah. You know, there's no nuance there needed.
No, not at all. Coming up, let's talk about David Allen's decision, because that I actually think is what cost them the game. We'll talk about that coming up on Locked On Nuggets. The days are getting longer, the weather's warming up, and people are spending more time outside, which means it's the perfect time to refresh your outdoor space. Whether you're working with a big backyard or a small balcony, WayFair has everything you need to make it feel more like you. WayFair's massive selection of outdoor essentials makes it easy to transform any space into your ideal summer setup. From comfy conversation sets to sleek dining tables and outdoor decor, they've got it all at all the prices that fit your budget. We're redoing the patio. We're having it paved and getting the gazebo's getting a workout. We have like a little tiny little gazebo. Getting some new furniture though. I ordered one for my wife for Mother's Day from WayFair. It's going to be this not really nice outdoor table to go with the Adirondack chairs that she loves. It's going to be absolutely terrific. And you get the best prices and the best quality stuff at WayFair. Shop a huge selection of outdoor furniture online this summer. Get outside with WayFair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's wayfair.com. WayFair, every style, every home. We'll be right back on Locked On Nuggets.
I got a new laundry room hamper. That was my gift to myself. Things are going really well.
You deserve it. You deserve a new hamper.
It's bamboo.
Welcome back to Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us and making this part of your day. So I want to be clear. I'm just going to state my positions here. Jokic was amazing tonight. He was absolutely incredible. He did enough for them to win the game. The other players did not play well enough for them to win on the defensive end. I think they missed shots on the offensive end until the last 4 minutes when the offense fell apart. That is my takeaway from this game. Is there anything I said there that's like especially wrong to you, since everyone thinks your takes are great tonight?
Well, that's because they are great tonight. My takes are never always great.
Your takes are always great.
I feel like they're
Lou Dort is never going to make the big shots.
I've never ever seen Lou Dort make a big shot until he made 3 threes in a row. It was awesome. Except for me wanting to die inside. No, I think you mostly hit the nail on the head there. I do think that the turnover issues that Denver is still facing, like again, Denver turned the ball over 15 times. Murray turned it over 4 times. Gordon turned it over 3 times. Peyton Watson and Russell Westbrook each turned it over twice. Jokic turned it over twice in 44 minutes. Look, they are not doing enough to prevent those possessions. And the points conceded off of turnovers, though, was only 14 apiece. So each team only had 14. So that wasn't the reason why Denver lost, but it certainly didn't help. So Denver needed to get up more shots. They needed to get more shots inside. They settled for a lot of outside jumpers because they were tired. And I think that's actually, it's not just because they were tired. It's because they were generating good threes, but they just missed the threes.
Yeah. My frustration is just like, if I can identify what a team did wrong, then I can talk about it. And I don't know what to do if it's just like, yeah, they missed these shots. These shots did not go in. They should try harder to make the shots.
You've always been tough with shot making. Like that's never been your thing.
Because you can talk to them about the process of fixing their shot, about whether it's in a good place or bad, about the work that they do on it. But any one individual shot, you can't. All they'll say is like, I got to make it, because they know that's what people want to hear. But like the reality is just like, you're going to make it, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
A great shooter is going to hit an open jumper 40% of the time. They're going to miss 6 out of 10.
And here's the thing. Are you surprised that Denver shot 28% from 3 against the Thunder on the road in Game 5 with a series by 2-2 after going to 7 games in the first round?
And that's why I think that they're fine heading into game 6. Now, this is the problem. So David Adelman starts the fourth quarter with both Jokic and Murray on the floor. He plays them the duration, and they gassed out. Like, Jokic was still like fighting for rebounds and getting stuff, but even he was like,
to your point, like not getting out to the 3-point shooters as well as he'd probably needed to in some situations, but he was fighting for so many rebounds, man. Like 15 rebounds for him, 4 for Porter in this game, 5 for Gordon in this game, 7 for Christian Brown. I'll give him credit there. 8 for Peyton Watson in 15 minutes, by the way. I want to give a shout out to Peyton Watson. He deserved to close the game.
Yeah, he was really good. So this was the problem. So they played MPJ, and MPJ like is getting torn up in the comments. And I've been pretty consistent. If you play, you get criticized. Like, we have to criticize a guy, and that's applies a little bit more to me with star players than it does with role players.
Porter's in the middle of that for what it's worth.
I don't know what to do with this.
I do.
He's a role player. Like, he is just a role player. That's all he is.
At this point, he is now that. That's it.
And so I don't know what to do, because I'm like, being at the arena, I cannot tell you how much pain he's in all the time. Like, he falls and you can tell, like, you can just tell how much discomfort and pain in the locker room. Like, it's just evident. And he's trying to gut through it because it gives them a better chance to win, because they have won his minutes the majority of the time. But this is like the cost of it, is because he hasn't had the lidocaine since game 3. This is like the low point. And whether he takes it in 6 or if they force a game 7, takes it in 7, he'll be better, because like that's the only way for him to really function. And I get it. If you're listening to this and you're like, then why is he playing? Because your alternative is Russell Westbrook. And many of you commented on how terrible Russ was. He
was bad.
I would have gone for defense in this game, because I actually think they could still win this game if they had played better defense down the stretch.
I agree.
They played drop coverage against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, not great. Not their. So like they've played drop coverage against Shai before and been successful when Christian has been contesting better and Murray and Porter and guys are giving better help. But like, Russ is the one that usually gives better help in that situation. I thought his first half, like, he was digging in and helping over and being a great weak side rim protector and doing things like, even without the shot making and the bad decision making offensively, like, he was helpful enough. And Fernando says it there. Like, there aren't any good options in this case when you're going to third-year Peyton Watson and trying to be like, yep, time for you to close the game.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to hit the big corner threes. And honestly, I think Peyton's a little bit wired to make them. I think, like, I trust him more about those shots than like a random one in the middle of the third.
He hit them against the Thunder in the regular season in the clutch. That's for sure.
This by the way was could have played Zeke for 2 minutes. You can't play him. You can't put him in that situation down the stretch. Like, that's just not fair to him. It's not fair to him or the team or anybody. You can't do that in the clutch time. Could have played him for a little bit. I think you could have played him in that fourth quarter to start and gotten Yoke some rest, or just played the AG at 5.
Do you have played Justin Holiday?
So
I bet he could come off the bench. I bet he could come off the sideline here.
Hurricane was accusing us of being soft on Booth, by the way, which I just want to say, like, that's just not accurate, man.
I hated everything that he did.
Ryan and Swipa have torn him apart from beginning to end. We have consistently said the problem is the rotation. The problem is the roster. You can't fix the reason I've stopped talking about it is, like, they can't do anything about that now.
Yes.
When we get to the end of the season, we got to talk about it. Somebody else in the comments was like, get ready, Nuggets fans. Whole new bench coming next season. You know how many times I've heard that, Chestnut? So, like, we'll see what happens, because there is a CBA they got to navigate. I do agree that I wish they would give Watson a chance to close.
They never have. They've never once trusted him, ever. And it's only ever been Porter or Russ. And it's unfortunate that that's the only options that they have. And then those two options just weren't good in this one. And they didn't really have a good choice because they've never once actually closed with Peyton Watson, like, even dating back into the regular season when everybody else was healthy. Like, they just default to Porter or Russ.
Ab says, you said the Nuggets were leading after the first. How did Jamal contribute to that exactly by shooting 1 of 5? Wow, what a contribution. I mean, they led by 1. That's the point. Is like when he was great in the third, that's what pushed them into actual position to win that game. Got decent New World Sorter says got decent minutes from Strother. He shot that through with confidence. Need to use him more at home, but I doubt it. I actually kind of agree. The assist that he had for us was terrific.
I loved what I saw from Julian in this game. Like, to be able to come in and play on the road in that situation as a second-year guy after being in and out of the rotation and not really being a playoff factor for anything at all over the course of these past 2 years, really impressive stuff from Julian Strother. I hope that they give him an opportunity, and I hope that he steps up to the plate.
Chris, I want to shout out Chris right now. Chris says, is it just me or game 4 felt worse than this? And I still believe the Nuggets defend home court and anything can happen in 7. Yes. Guys, this is a great series. Everyone outside of Denver and OKC is like, the series is amazing.
Yeah.
And we got like a few OKC fans who are like, they should have swept them. This should be 4-1. Nope. These two teams are even. They are evenly matched. The Thunder are better, but they are evenly matched because of how good Jokic is and how good Gordon has been and how good Jamal has been in the series. I don't mind being critical of Jamal tonight. I'm not trying to make it to where I'm saying that Jamal doesn't deserve criticism tonight. Yeah. He is a shot maker who didn't make shots. He didn't influence the game with his passing, even though I think it's probably like we're going to look at the potential assists and be like, oh, wow. But that is his job, and I do recognize that. I am really interested in that conversation. Like, Ryan, you were like, it's, why are you doing this? And I'm like, because this is what I'm always trying to understand is if you create good offense and the shots don't go in, I'm genuinely asking, what is it that you need to do differently in order to make them? And I don't have an answer on that because they shoot so many shots a day. Like,
so often, like, this is the core that won a championship. This is a group that has done this before, that has stepped up to the plate in these situations. That was great in game 3 and did it. I will say, Christian, I'm not really counting on making threes. Like, I'm just straight up not. It was nice that he got the 2 first quarter threes, but anytime the ball gets kicked to him in these moments, I'm not really feeling great about it.
I was told by somebody that he's above the break numbers last year were tremendous, though. So I don't know.
I've been told by Russell Westbrook fans that he shot 48% from 3 in the right corner in the regular season, and that it was a good shot, and they should always be willing to go to that.
I mean, he wasn't in the right corner on those misses.
He was on one of them. He was not on the other.
But that one, he also overthought it. The key is that he's got to do the catch and shoot without hesitation.
Yeah.
If he hesitates at all, that's why he airballs. Did you notice he bobbles it on the first one?
Yeah.
And then he airballs. The second one, he was caught in between and was like,
So when we're talking about like, hey, what should these guys do? Like, don't bobble the ball is a good start. Like, that's like get the shot mechanics down is a really good thing. And
but like Porter, Porter did,
Of course, Porter was like, I had zero faith that either of those 2 threes were going in, man. Like, zero, absolutely none.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Mason says CB is 4 of 18 on threes the last 2 games. This is going to be, and like, I want to be very clear on this. This is one of the reasons why I was never anti Christian Brown. I was like, he's going to be a starter in this league for a long time, but putting him in this position this year, this is one of the things is like, CB hasn't had time to get a shot where it needs to be. He just hasn't had time. There's actually, this is a really funny thing. Contavious Caldwell-Pope was drafted as a shooter. He was like a knockdown, absolute sniper.
Yeah.
And he struggled so much his first 2 years in Detroit shooting. Everybody's like, I guess he can't shoot. Like, you just need reps. You just need the reps. And CB hasn't had them.
Yeah. And frankly, like, this is the Lou Dort story, by the way. As I've talked about on several occasions, this is like Lou Dort's 6th or 7th year. He has had to go through this for several years of the ups and downs. Are you going to make it? Are you not going to make it? But it all came down to fourth quarter, game 5. You need multiple threes in this situation in order to make it happen, in order to beat the Nuggets with the all-time Jokic performance. And they got it. Like, he got it. It was a very impressive performance from him. And the Thunder made the plays down the stretch that the Nuggets just couldn't. And I will say, SGA, fantastic down the stretch as well. He did not force his own offense. He was drawing so much attention that he just let the offense work for him. And I really appreciated that from him. Down the stretch, it sucks for Denver, obviously, but he in these situations has sometimes not allowed the offense to work for him. So it's interesting to see. I see that. Hey, Ryan made a good point. CB should have been shooting threes, and he had an unwillingness for long periods of the regular season to take more than 2 or 3 at a time, and that is hurting them in the playoffs.
This is a great point by Robert. I'd say need to close quarters and halves better. Can't give away momentum. He's absolutely right.
Yeah. End of the first half, they gave up a 9-0 run. They were up 11, and then they were up 2. And if you just hold serve in that point and then get the third quarter that they get, they're up, 17 at that point? Like, as opposed to being up 8? Gosh, that would have been a lot easier and a lot better. Like, would have been a lot harder for OKC to come back in that situation.
So I'm always of the opinion that, like, how many minutes you play in a game, if you play 42 versus 37, there's not a significant difference. I think it matters. I'm starting to think it matters more how many miles you get on you, because, like, I do think that one of the reasons Adelman played Yoke is because Yoke has been a guy that you could do this with every year. He's been such a tank.
Yeah.
And I just don't know that he's there at that point in his career anymore. He has had so many miles on him. He has the most games played since 2019, and he has the second most minutes behind Tatum.
Now that's what he's been. He's always been a very he's always just been a very trustable option and heavy minute option in these situations. And in the playoffs, he always averages over 40 minutes a game. So I don't think that this is that big of a deal. What I will say is Christian Brown has been consistently playing over 42 minutes in each of these games. And part of it is because they can't defend without him. But I don't know. It's tough. I'm going to comment on this. Is Ryan going to comment on the Russ/Gordon story? I didn't have an opportunity to comment on it before. I will say it now. I don't know what Ramona went into and what she ultimately got from the story that she got, but Gordon refuted it in the locker room today, and Russ is not getting the benefit of the doubt at all from anybody in this situation, and it sucks. I have been critical of Russ at various points throughout this entire season, but the idea that Russ is immature, I think, was stupid. I think that was a stupid narrative that popped up.
Can you summarize real quick?
Yeah, so effectively, the story came out, and this is an anonymous player apparently that was anonymous source to Ramona, or not to Ramona, but Ramona overheard that player was complaining about Russ and his level of immaturity, and that his attitude sometimes didn't necessarily help the team, in a lot of these situations. And just the way that it was framed, and the argument that apparently Gordon and Russ had after game 2, I don't know, man. That's a hard sell. And especially at this point in the series, where this is a 2-2 series going to game 5, when the sourcing was coming back from 3 weeks ago, it was kind of weird timing on this. And I like Ramona. I've talked to her on several occasions. She is very nice. She is a good person. I don't know what this was about.
Yeah. I think that this is what happens, I think, when there's politics around the team. And this is one of the things I talked about a lot in the title year, was there was no politics around the team. Somebody says locker room infighting. Yeah. So any NBA team ever, when they lose, ever.
Yeah. They're all arguing. It's a stressful opportunity. Game 2, when they lost against the Clippers, that was a clutch loss, and they didn't handle it well. And clearly there was some arguing about what happened. And I think it was probably taken out of proportion and context, I would say.
Okay. I want to do this. What grade would you give Jamal Murray in this series so far?
C. It's been good, but he's also been bad at times.
He's facing Lou Dort, Cason Wallace in the Thunder defense, and he's been terrific.
Okay, B-.
Okay, I would give him an A. What would you give Jokic in this series?
C. C-.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking relative to his standard. of like the expectation of who these guys are.
He's had 2 incredible games. He had 3 horrible games. I think like within the context of who he is, that probably averages out to a C.
Walter Worthy is completely subject to recency bias. I think A is a little too high, but B plus is what a lot of the comment section have said.
You're also the one that has also been pretty much like, hey, Shea has hunted Jamal into oblivion, and outside of game 3, he's just been barbecue chicken.
I said that early. He's actually done a really good job. He was bad late in the game, but that's my thing with that is just like, why are you scramming the switch? Why aren't you blitzing him? Why aren't you literally doing anything else except giving him that guard switch? Like, why do you just give him the matchup that he wants? I'll never understood this from any team. Aaron Gordon,
A minus.
Okay,
if not A.
MPJ,
D.
Huh.
How could it be better? Like I know that the context of the injury is tough, but he's had 1 good game out of 5.
How was he in game 1? I don't remember.
2 points on 1 of 8, and he didn't close. He was like a minus 15 in a game that they won by 2.
I'm just so impressed with the game 3. I think that's part of the deal here is like, and like you should do it the way you're doing it, which is like, hey, how have you done actually across all these games? Versus how have you done when they've won?
Yeah, like I can't grade them on just when they win. It's not how like for Christian, I would give him C minus in this series. Yeah.
Why?
His shot making has not been high enough.
Like why is you giving him a C plus or C minus? Why? What has he done?
Like I think he's done a pretty good job guarding Shea for most of the time. And when he switches on to J-Dub, he's done a pretty good job. He's also rebounded pretty well.
Teachify says, how can Moore give Murray an A when his shooting has been pretty bad? Everyone's shooting has been bad. Everyone's shooting has been bad. No one's shooting well in these series. This is a very brutal series.
Yeah.
Like this series is brutal. It's absolutely brutal. So that's, I think, part of my equation here is like, in the context of the series, it matters. Is that fair, or should I expect more? Should I expect Jamal Murray to be 50, 40, 90?
You don't have to be 50, 40, 90, but I don't think that he's been close to that. Like not even really close.
Have they played well, Ryan?
In the game 4 loss, he was 5 of 15 from the field as well.
Wait. Have they played well in the series in your mind?
They've been okay. Like they've been pretty good.
Ryan, they're down 3-2.
Yeah,
they were up 2-1 and they're down 3-2.
Well, here's the thing: the only reason they're up, the only reason they're in this is because they're only playing their good players. Like they are only playing their good guys, and those guys have been solid. So like they're down 3-2. Would you like me to give them all passing grades?
You thought that this Thunder team was like unstoppable?
I picked Thunder in 6. I thought that they would win 2 games.
Okay.
Hey, look, it's 3-2.
Ryan, I am this other Ryan. I am validating 10 of 27 is not good. I'm saying it. Stop. It's okay.
Yeah.
Man, the comment section. I guess I'm just really surprised because like I feel like Jamal's been way better than I expected in this series.
We'd have to go into the numbers to actually like look at what this has been. But here's what I will say. Denver falls apart whenever Jamal Murray is not on the floor. He was -5 tonight, and I understand like part of that was because of the fourth quarter collapse. But before that, he was a +18 in the game. +18 through 3 quarters. And like they just can't survive whenever he sits. And that's the reason why he was on the floor the entire time. So they got to find out something. Russ has to be better in terms of handling the ball. He turned the ball over pretty badly I think earlier in the game today, but it's tough. They just don't have a lot of options. They're doing what they can. Gordon's been great. Jokic has had a couple of games. Murray's had a couple of games. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm just I will say that I feel that your goalposts have been a little bit on a fast-moving platform at about 90 miles an hour, shifting back and forth. Like, they have played awesome in this series to hang with this squad. They came off of a game 7. They led 2-1. They stole game 1. They won game 3. They were in position to win game 5. They have they've only been blown out by the team with the best point differential in NBA history in one game. And I don't know how, based on our expectations going in, we don't consider that to be more impressive than what it sounds like.
Maybe so. And look, we'll see what happens in game 6 and game 7. If they just lose in game 6 and they lose pretty much going away, or let's say they lose another close game. And yeah, overall, you'll look at it and be like, yeah, this is about what I expected. This is about, and so when I say that, I'm going to give most everybody a C in that case, because that's about my expectation. That's average for me.
Is anybody happy with a C though?
No. And so you lost the series.
Okay. Robert Dante says, Matt, who has played up to or better than their contracts? You can't do this, Robert. You got to stop doing this, guys.
The contracts are signed in the offseason and then you play, and that's it. You can't worry about the contracts in game 85 of the season.
You're not getting no one plays exactly to their contract value. No one plays to that. They're either way more valuable or way less valuable. Drew Holiday is not nearly what he's paid as, but he's still a really good player.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's just not how the NBA works with the CBAs. With the cap, it just doesn't work to do that. You cannot judge things off of that. I understand the temptation because you're they're professional players and they should be played to what they're, because you can't, because every star player, including Jokic most of all, plays so far beyond the value of their contracts. But also just a lot of guys are signed to deals because a team needs them for a specific role on a squad. They're valued that way.
Jamal shooting 41, 41, 85 in the series. That's honestly better than I thought it was. I think the 2-point shooting is what really was dragging my brain down. But he had been shooting pretty well from 3 in the series. So, hey, more credit to him. Maybe I should bump him up. I think that's honestly a fair, constructive point there.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, when defended by Christian Brown, is shooting 48% from the field in this series.
That's pretty good.
He has 16 assists as well. He has 48 points scored against Christian across 30 minutes in the 4 games.
That's pretty high. It's a volume thing, though.
48% is a really high percentage in the series, I think. Now, this is not surprising. He's 59% versus Jamal. Okay. He's 10 of 17 from the field.
Yeah.
Jokic is even worse. It's 12 of 19 versus Nikola Jokic. I'm just sharing the number. I'm not making it
that one's tough because sometimes the actual contextual data kind of passing responsibility from CB to Joker in some of those situations. And maybe Christian should be closer in a lot of those contests. And maybe
even then, here's what's weird is all these numbers are really good and it hasn't felt like MPJ or that Shai's had a great series.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I thought he had a great game today.
And he was great in game 4.
Yeah, so he stepped up. They went down 2-1 and he stepped up. That's a really big deal. And they've deserved it. They've flat out played better than Denver over the course of these past 2 games. And they've closed better. They've had the final punch. They've had the role players, the extra gas in the tank, the momentum. They've been able to do those things. Denver has not been able to stem the tide. I don't know how it changes in game 6. I think that there are ways, of course. Denver could just get up by more. We will see whether they're actually able to do that. But I don't think Denver's dead. But I also think that this is a really, really stressful situation.
He's 4 of 6 versus AG. You're not going to want to hear this, but he's 0 of 4 versus Russ so far in this series.
No, I think if Russ is going to be on the floor for defense, that's great. They have to find a better way to use him offensively. He can't just be camping in the corner the entire time.
We didn't, before we get out of here, we didn't grade Adelman.
He's had good moments. He's had bad moments. This most recent one was a really bad moment. Game 4 What could he have done differently in game 4? I'm trying to think. I don't know. It's easy to give him a C. Is that too harsh? I thought he coached a great series against the Clippers.
I think B- with a he's got a 7-man rotation off of a 7-game series against the number 1 team in the league. I think if we give him anything worse than a B-, I think we're probably stretching it.
Yeah.
I also just want to say that I really hope my kids are never graded by you. That's going to do it for Locked On Nuggets. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you guys being with us. We will be back tomorrow. Ryan's going to have a crossover episode with Locked On Thunder. And then we'll do another show previewing game 6. I'm telling you, this is okay. Like, this show has been contentious. The show, like, they are in the exact spot I thought they were going to be. They're down 3-2, going home, altitude, season's on the line. I think this is where you get the best thing. You get the best game for the Nuggets. Win, lose, or draw, I think they're going down. Well, just win or lose. They're going down fighting, and I think that's been one of the most impressive things. This team showed real fight, real heart, and wasn't able to get it done tonight. It was a good game. And
True.
We'll see what happens in game 6.
True. It's going to be very interesting. I'm very hopeful for Denver. We'll find out what they can do, but look, they're not dead until they're dead. That's how I think we should go about this.
Give me a great jinx on the way out. No jinx.
I don't see any way Jamal doesn't put up 35 in game 6. I don't see any way he does that. Like, he's just not good enough. No way.
Thanks for joining us on Locked On Nuggets. Notice you didn't say win.